Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd. I'm going to pose a question to you guys at the start of today's video. You're Sony. You ostensibly survived this era of the console wars. Microsoft, Xbox, they've fallen off. They've almost raised the white flag a couple of times, but they're going to keep going, but they are diminished. Nintendo runs its own race. You're not exactly competing with Nintendo for market share. So what should you do? You should take it easy, sit back, one hand on the wheel, and coast along and get easy wins. But that's not Sony's style. Sony has chosen in the past week alone to get one unforced error after another, culminating in one today that has a lot of people going, what the hell? First off, full disclosure, I'm a Sony guy. I'm not a fanboy, I'm just a Sony guy. You can't see it off screen right here. PlayStation 5. I chose to be a Sony household well over a decade ago because that's for me where the games were. The library for me was better on what I like to play. I will also clearly dip into Nintendo, but that's the thing. I go where the games are. To me, Microsoft never had the games. And if I really wanted one, it usually did release on Steam so I could take part in it. But you understand what I'm saying? I'm being clear that I choose to play Sony products. There. But that doesn't mean I'm a fanboy. I'm very critical a lot of times, and I will be critical in today's video because once again, I ask you, what do you do if you're Sony? You commit unforced errors. It started last week with Stellar Blade. This was an easy win. You promised a fully uncensored game. You have Eve, who is poised to become an iconic video game heroine. With her body, her skill set, her moves, her gameplay, and she's a good character so far in my playthrough on my channel, Renaissance Nerd Arcade, where you can watch me enjoy her bountiful assets every day. But you had a win here. The game so far is glorious. I'm having a fantastic time. But then you censored her outfits. You took out the gore. You didn't have to. You did it to appease either some weirdos in your own company or weirdos who don't actually play games. It was a big question. Why do you do this? Now, has it affected the game? No, it hasn't. But it's not about affecting the game. It's about the issue. You lied to us, and people weren't happy. And some people did refund it. It's their choice. But in my opinion, when you refunded your game, you're doing all this, you're letting the SJWs, the woke journalists, you're letting them get a victory, use you as a tool to do it. But that's a discussion for another time. But they started their, basically, the past 7 days with that. That was a fail. Huge uproar. And then there was an unforced error number 2. They tell Type Moon, who makes Fate Stay Night and other type of games, they tell you you're not going to get an uncensored copy of their art book. It's not in the game. It's an art book. And Nintendo, however, will get the full regular version. Fail number 2. Piss off a lot of people that keep creating this weird aura that you hate beauty. You hate to let people enjoy what they pay for. And then there's this, the final unforced era of the week, the Helldivers 2 controversy that started late last night. What is it? You've probably heard a million videos say it by now. Sony has essentially locked out anybody who doesn't have a PlayStation Network account in the coming weeks. Here's the thing. Clearly, as I said, I have a PlayStation right here next to me. If I had chosen to play this game, this would not have been a big deal for me or for other people who simply were playing it on the console. The reason I didn't choose to play it on the console was because of the PlayStation Plus. There's a difference between PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Network. PlayStation Plus is a paid service that allows you to play online games on your PS5, with the exception of a game like Final Fantasy XIV. But that is a bad deal. I never want to have to pay to play with my friends. But this is not a pay-to-play situation. This is a we want you to associate with us situation. We're forcing you to do something situation. And that is where the problem lies. You see, Sony, while this is kind of innocuous, it is still forcing people who don't want anything to do with Sony to interact with them. People have chosen, probably for the most part, to play Helldivers on their PC because their PC is probably better than the PS5, and because they have issues with Sony, whether or not it has to do with the console wars or this or that, or their bad behavior censorship, or their lack of security on their on their customer information. Now, that alone is a lot for a lot of people, but just remember this. If you're making a PlayStation account, all you're putting in is an email address and a password and maybe your name. You're not actually putting in your credit card information or all your personal information. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I opened it, but it's not exactly you're not exactly giving them the keys to your accounts or keys to all your accounts everywhere. You make up a fake name, you make up a password, and there you go. But that still is an issue for people. They don't trust Sony for a lot of reasons, and they don't want Sony to tell them how to play their games, and that is what is at the core of this. This is Sony telling people how to play their games, and that's wrong. It's wrong, plain and simple. Sony should not be doing this, even though this may be some sort of corporate thing where they want to make sure their games are connected to all their accounts, or accounts are connected to games they play. It's not something that other companies haven't done. Microsoft, Ubisoft, EA, many companies make you log into your company-specific account to play games. I currently play a game called State of Decay 2 with friends that makes me log into a Microsoft Network account every time I want to play. Now, I don't shrug because I still use an MSN account for various reasons, so I don't shrug. But it's still annoying and unnecessary. And the other point is, Adam, well, hey, you knew that from going into that game right away. True. Sony didn't originally have this out front, and now they're doing it. It's a bad move, and Sony will likely not suffer any consequences. Let's be honest. People stopping to play Helldivers 2 over this, it's going to look bad for the next several days into next week, but then it's going to disappear like most of these stories do. That's unfortunate because you should not be telling gamers how to play their games. And Adam, you should boycott Sony. Why? Why should I boycott Sony? Tell me. Because of their bad behavior? Well, I'm talking about it right here, right now. I'm openly criticizing it with objectivity because I realize that's how you do it. Simply canceling a game, returning it, not buying it, that's one way. But then once you make that one little move, there's no other further action. By talking about it, by furthering the conversation, by not letting it simply get swept under the rug, that, to me, is much more effective than a single statement of, give me my money back or not going to buy it all. Especially while not buy it all works, it's kind of a silent protest. This, I'm opening the doors. I'm shining light on it. I'm pointing out that Sony is behaving badly, and it will reflect poorly for many people. For me, I still want to play my games, and a lot of the times, the games I play, Sony is just the distributor. They're not the ones that made it, so why should I make another company suffer for Sony's bad decision? That's the other question to ask. Anyway, we will talk about this more this weekend on the Round Table, 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, and I think I'm done here for now. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, where I hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic and sometimes objectivity. I'm here to basically give my opinion, and I hope you're here to listen to it. I don't care about whiny fifis, which is what the SJWs, the fake fans and stands care about. So thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.